This time was very bad, very difficult. Where are we going? We don't know. We don't know the people and everything.
I'm Marianne Conley, and I got into coaching Special Olympics in 2010, and I'm still coaching.
When I found out that I was representing Team Ontario, it was actually the best day of my life because I couldn't be more proud.
You made the 5 pole team.
No way!
I'm so sorry that I cannot tell you earlier. Just to see him get a medal up on the podium, second place in the highest division. It was like the best mom feeling ever.
Just thankful for her being my awesome coach and mother. Don't cry.
All right.
Coach Marianne is like amazing person. I have, to be honest, never met somebody like her. She really cares so much about other people. She's just an amazing person. In Special Olympics, we can be ourselves. We can hang out with our friends and act goofy, and it's just another day. It gave me a place I felt I was more than just a disability. Like, it was a club. Not a lot of people get to feel that way.
We're there for each other, and it's like a family.
I just wouldn't know what to do without them because we're all there to support each other.
Our hockey team just realizes we need each other. It's easier to go through life together instead of alone.
So Burlington Greens started back in 2007. It was a handful of residents who came together around a kitchen table, and they wanted to create a voice for the environment in Burlington. A lot of people wonder, what can they do where they are? How can I make change where I am? And I think that's where Burlington Green were really good at bringing it back to a local perspective that people can relate to.
My main job within the organization is running our youth network, which is a network for any young people ages 14 to 24 in Burlington who care about the environment. Every high school in Burlington had an eco club. They would all be interested in working with each other, but none of them even knew each other existed. So we created like a larger place for them to gather and to make friends and to network and coordinate and really work on stuff together.
To have someone like Kale come into my life and say, here's an organization we're all really passionate about the environment, and you can volunteer with us, work with us. We can have a discussion about how we can spread environmental stewardship or consciousness. I think that really sparked something within me. At the end of the day of when we do waste diversions, we'll be like, we diverted like 33 bags of garbage from the landfill. And that's a really heartwarming feeling.
For me, it's been just the feeling of doing something. I've wanted to get involved for so long. And so now that I finally have, just realizing how positive it's been, just for me and my mental health and everything, and just the empowerment and the liberty of getting involved with the environment to make a positive change. It's been great.
Brianna is one of our volunteers. She did a special vegetable seed giveaway this past winter.
So originally I wanted to do a seed swap, but with COVID, unfortunately, I couldn't do an in-person event. So I met with a few people from the city and they suggested using the community support funds that the city gives away. I used my $5,000 to buy seeds for 300 residents. You can see in my backyard, I am really into gardening. So I just want to enjoy it with other people within the city and have that experience with other people. It's really important to be able to grow your own food, so you have food security, you get the choice to have local organic food, and it's better on the environment. We rely on the planet in order to live properly, and so this really brings us back to realizing that this tiny seed can do so much for us in terms of enjoyment and stress relief, but also feeding us, both our soul and our bellies.
About 12 years ago, we started the Friday Night Community, which is a meal that has grown over the years. And then when COVID hit, we switched that. We flipped it to a meal bag program where folks could still come for food.
The meal bag program provides dairy products, eggs, produce, fresh produce, freshly cooked meals. Like the meals that our team pumps out of this kitchen are like top notch.
So at the very beginning of COVID, the Mayor's Task Force actually was created, and we actually had a food network out of that. So there were a number of major food partners that came together. We couldn't be doing this program without some of those partners, namely Burlington Food Bank, Salvation Army, Food for Life, that continue now to provide food for us in order to be able to provide over 1,200 meal bags a week.
Well, the Burlington Food Bank is an emergency source for people here in Burlington that find themselves maybe having to decide between whether they're going to pay their electricity bill or their rent or food. Dignity is like one of our highest values. We think it's a value of Burlington. We automatically feel that we are that reflection of the community. So we want to make sure that anybody who has to use our services, that they recognize that they're cared for in a way that who they are is just as important as what their need is. So we try to instill in that individual, but also in our volunteers and staff, that really high value of dignity.
I know some of the staff and volunteer members, not all of them, but I can see their passion when they are helping others, that I can express with words how thankful I am to all of them. It's a huge help for people in the community that are struggle at some time.
It's a personal issue for me, and you know, I'm not embarrassed to say that I've brought home things for my family when, during the pandemic, both my parents were out of work, and you know, it's one of those month-to-month things, and this program was there for me. And you know, we don't judge anybody here. Anyone that comes here, we are your friend, and we're gonna help you. But the relationships we've built with people is just so amazing, because everyone here has a story. Everyone's got such a big heart, and when we get to connect and have those conversations, you know, it's priceless. It really is.
Mostly, it provides hope. Yes, we need to fill tummies, but we need to provide hope. We need to show that we didn't close down. You know, we partnered and we walked together as a community and as a city. And I think it has people know that they're going to be okay when we can model that we're okay and that together we can do whatever it takes.
This project is being organized under the name Grow for Change. We are located at the corner of Brant Street and Ghent. It is zoned as a farm, like that is its formal zoning. And so we take a great deal of, I guess, enjoyment the fact that as volunteers, we are technically farming. This is farming on a scale where we have 148 straw bales that are each 7 feet long. So it is quite a large project. We will have approximately 100 to 150 different seedlings dropped off at the farm over the next few days. We're hoping to bring potentially a few hundred pounds of food to our greater community, and that's because of people in Burlington. I'm really grateful that the city has taken the time to talk with me and to have meetings relating to things like zoning, insurance. So we've had tremendous support from the landowners, which is the Molinaro Group, in addition to, of course, the volunteers in the wider community that's really starting to step up and offer seedlings and their time and all kinds of, I guess true support to see this project go forward. I think it's important for everybody of every age to get involved. I mean, this is farming, right? This is our connection to food.
I'm the local novice
mycologist that is going to be cultivating some mushrooms for our local food banks here in Burlington. So as someone that has food insecurities themselves, I understand how difficult it is for a lot of people, and that is one of the reasons that I'm part of the urban farm.
Today we are raking out a huge plot of land at the front, we're leveling it, and we're planting wildflowers. And it just feels good to make some kind of an impact in the city.
I just raked.
You
I
raked?
helped my mom.
And directed, right?
Yeah.
People need food. If there's spaces to grow it and people willing to support that and resources, then I think we should do our best to support people in getting access to food. This is Canada. We have land and resources, and yeah, it takes a bit of administration to get it going, but we should try. These are our neighbors who are in need.
Well, I'm Dennis Scott. I'm the chair of the Halton Black History Awareness Society.
My name is Lisa Scott, and I work with the Halton Black History Awareness Society as their Director of Community Outreach.
The Halton Black History Society was started 5 years ago. We've grown phenomenal as far as our festival, which we have every year at Spencer Smith Park. It's grown from actually 0 to over 4,000 over a 4-year period of time. One of the big things about the Halton Black History Awareness Society is that we're inclusive. I love to bring people together. And the more we bring diverse people together, for instance, our festival is multicultural, not just Black, the more they can appreciate each other, learn from each other, and work with each other towards positivity. So in teaching grade 3 children, when they see that myself, who's Black, but I am coming from 8 different cultures, that there is opportunity for them by appreciating, 1, their history, 2, appreciating themselves, and 3, appreciating their potential. And music is a universal language. Everybody can appreciate it regardless of where they come from. And we are able, through music and through art, be able to show them progress, and that if you have an ambition and a strength and an aptitude and a passion, go forward and present it, because it tells your story, which is integrated in regards to our story. And that's why we really promote music, because it brings people together.
The coming together in Halton has meant that a lot of people have learned things that they didn't know. I think the coming together is educational, it builds self-esteem, it builds self-love, and it builds a sense of community.
This is my Trinidadian flag. This is the red, green, and gold. Everybody kind of knows it as the Bob Marley Rastafarian colors. And I'm Canadian, I'm here in Canada, so I'm representing everything that I am. My name is Carlene Ling, AKA Vanda Lee. I was 7 years old when my parents and my brother and I moved here. Infusing myself in understanding Black culture is what made me feel comfortable in this space. I think it's important whether you're an artist or just a resident in Burlington to feel that sense of representation. I remember how it made me feel to be a part of the Burlington Talent Search and know that I get to be on Cogeco Cable. It was a big thing for me as a young person, and it gave me a little bit of an exposure. Things like that, they stuck with me, and that built up my self-esteem. So when I started doing my latest project, which is called Craft, I decided to bring together artists of different genres that are Black artists. I want every child, whether they're a Black child or a child of another ethnicity, to feel that they can experience other cultures right in their community. Doing it within my hometown has meant a lot. Bloom where you're planted. You have to start it here because this is where we're from.
Tanse, Amber Nitsi gets on Tawau. So what I spoke was just Cree First Nations language, Y dialect. So I'm learning my language, I'm reclaiming my language. The red dress movement is really important to me because it's part of the way of me saying, I'm Native too, I'm here too. I experience the same understanding of murdered, missing Indigenous women. The red dress symbolizes each woman who is missing. And the color red is important to the Natives because the spirit of the woman who was lost, the spirits can see red. So when we hang the red dresses, the spirits know their way home. My whole goal of the art installation was to call people of Burlington to see the Indigenous injustices that are happening. And it's a blessing to be able to do something like this in Burlington because we're a predominantly white community. And people were asking me the questions, why are these dresses here? And for myself, I was able to answer those questions. I was able to sit down with Native women who came down to Vigil and hear their stories. So for me, it was very, very important. And I hope that Burlington continues to be very open to Indigenous arts. These red dresses that I had, I didn't buy any of them. They were donated by the Burlington community. And that's where Burlington came together and really stood up and said, I believe in this. And so the red dresses that I hung and those that you see here today were donated by our community, by Burlington. And that's very important to recognize as well.
We started this initiative just over a year ago. We didn't have any idea how great the need was. So what we do now is we find out from the Fresh Start Project or Halton Women's Place. They will call us or email us and say we have a woman moving out and she needs a couch, a chair, a bed, a dining room table and chairs, that type of thing. And then we go on Facebook and we ask the Burlington community for it, and lo and behold, within an hour, we've got everything we need.
At this particular moment in time, we've got 6 families we're helping this month alone, so it's really picking up as well, it's growing.
I think we've helped probably 30 families in the last year. A lot of single women with their kids moving out of shelters, new immigrants, just anybody that really needs it. A woman pulled up and she brought artwork. And I said, oh, we're not accepting artwork. Thank you very much, but no thanks, we're just doing the furniture. And she said she moved out of a shelter and people donated furniture to her and she set up all the furniture and the walls were bare. There was no artwork. So now we do artwork. We want them to have a home. We don't just want to donate a couch or a chair or a dining room table and chairs. We give these people the option. This is what we have in our lockers. Which couch would you like? Which couch goes with your furniture and your color scheme? The artwork they get to pick out themselves so that it's home. It's not just a place to stay. They can take their kids and they can move in and say, this is home. It's amazing that the people of Burlington are so generous, and especially during this last year, the initiatives that are going on from people, the food drives, the clothing drives, the furniture drives.
What we're doing is very non-discriminative, and we're helping all different types of families, shelter families, we help refugee families, so it's really, it's across all cultures and all types of people. So I think that's very Canadian, I would say. It's not limited to helping a certain group, it's helping whoever needs help. We want to help people get back on their feet. So.
My husband and I have lived in Burlington over 50 years. I remember when we were getting ready for a new year, and then a challenge came. Would we consider sponsoring a family of refugees from Syria?
It's very difficult time I had, especially when I have to go out from Syria.
On the
there
way
is
to
ISIS.
Jordan, we went by car and there was ISIS and all these people stopping the car sometimes too, and we never know what could happen. They could kidnap us at some point, or they could just look and let us go. So it was stressful.
I was in church in Jordan, and they asked me if you want to go to Canada.
This captured everybody's imagination, from the children all the way through to the seniors. There was another small church in town that said, we couldn't do this, but we want to help. So they gave us some funds and some muscle power when we were moving furniture. So many people came together, and then the exciting day when we welcomed them to the airport in Toronto.
First, when we came, people was very friendly in airport. even we don't know anybody, but was very, very friendly.
I'm sure you've heard this about Canadians, that they're very friendly and stuff like that, but it was very surprising for us too, because strangers here don't really feel like strangers at the airport. It's people, they know us at least, and it's it makes sense that they're friendly and all. But even with strangers, I'm walking underneath my apartment or something, like outside, and like people are just waving and saying hi. People at school as well, like from the first day I went in and they were like, hi, hey, come, let's play. They didn't really care where I was from, what language I spoke, but they never really gave up.
I would describe the Burlington community spirit as being very generous.
Positive, progressive, productive,
caring, open,
friendly, supportive, compassionate.
How you doing, buddy? Good. Nice to see you.
Respectful, very respectful, kind, very brave as well.
For me, being a Burlingtonian means having an appreciation for nature.
Burlington has so many beautiful ecosystems and naturalized areas. They really are beautiful and they really do need to be preserved.
The Burlington community spirit is just incredible. We see it regularly. Whenever we've had a call out for a food drive or whatever it might be.
Nothing compares to Burlington. Just the community here, like everybody's so nice, and Burlington runs so many events.
The Riff Fest, Sound of Music.
When you go down to the big festivals and the big events to see what a diverse place Burlington has become and to see everyone sort of getting along and respecting each other and valuing each other as a community. It's a great little microcosm of the grand picture of Canada. And I love the Canada Day Festival specifically because there's so much diversity and there's like the citizenship celebration at the beginning of the festival.
I'm thinking to do with my test in Canada Day's Day.
She has her citizenship
yes,
test coming up,
so I will be Canadian. I'm proud to be Canadian.
On Canada's Day.
On Canada's Day, yes.
It's so much cultures here. It's a multicultural country. Honestly, for me, it's great. I feel home.
When I think of Canada, I think of inclusive. You know, we are inclusive of everyone. You know, faith, religion, background. Anybody can come and get a meal. And we don't check for anything, we just want your name. And if you don't want to provide your name, then, you know, we hope to get to know it someday.
We are so fortunate to live in Canada, you know, to have a country where we help one another, we work together. You know, as I've mentioned in Burlington, our city has just stepped up and come together, and that's just a reflection of the country that we live in.
I can't say anything else. I feel this support always. 5 years I'm here, yeah. I'm thankful.